Likely to happen because it looks like the National Coalition Center will reconvene today, as promised.
Well, I'll break your questions into two parts. There is a part where you are asking me to react to what the Leonard Silk, don't forget he's a Silk. When you call his name, remember to add SAN. Festus Keyamo SAN. He knows a lot of law, but he knows nothing. He knows absolutely nothing about justice. Whatever he once knew of justice, he's forgotten since. But let me not speak to his person, but it's impossible to speak to anything he says because it really makes sense. And he hasn't made sense with any of the things that he has said. I'm saying to you clearly that we have zero confidence. I'm speaking for myself. I know there are two tracks to this. Those who believe that our courts are capable of delivering justice will go right ahead and seek justice through that path. I have zero belief that justice can be found in a judicial system. It stinks, and it is little better than it. But I'll be insulting prostitutes, honest workers, if I call our judiciary a brothel. So let me leave that. If some people want to go to the court, they can go. I have no confidence in it, and I've stated my position clearly. And anybody can challenge me on the fact. We can have that discussion about governors. We can have that discussion about Machina. We can have that discussion about the Akpabio case. We can talk about it. So many cases. So let's just leave that for now. So those who want to go and be speaking Dogon Turenchi in the judiciary with Ogbeni Keyamo SAN can go ahead and be speaking their Dogon Turenchi. I have no truck with that, and I'm not part of any legal team talking about going to court. I have no confidence. I'm making that clear. It's not true. I've been saying that. That's on one side. To now deal with the blackmail of NSAS. You know, the tragedy of Nigeria is that we continue to believe that the more we run away from the truth, the closer we can come to justice. And that's the saddest part. When they fish out NSAS and bring out the specter of violence, they conveniently forget that the specter of violence in question was not one generated, sustained, or caused by the protesters. The only things protesters at NSAS had were flags and the national anthem, maybe their water bottles. They shared their food and drink with the law enforcement agencies all around them. We saw Nigerian states here in Abuja ferrying urchins and thugs around to attack peaceful protesters. I was in Lagos. We saw buses, Lagos State government buses, bringing thugs to come and attack protesters. None of those protesting raised a single violent voice, bucklers of weapon. It was in this same country that armless protesters at the toll gate were massacred. That is the word of a panel of inquiry, not set up by me, set up by the Lagos State government. Unanimous finding. They will continue to deny that it happened, but I challenge them to deny that they paid 100 million in two tranches of 50 million in compensation to those who lost lives, the families of those who lost lives and limbs. They paid it in cash. Ask Jide Sanwo-Olu and his commissioner for information. If I'm lying, let them deny it. They paid the money in cash, and they continue denying that people were killed. And then when they now want to suppress the voice of the people, they raise the blackmail of NSAS. The NSAS should be a thing of shame for the Nigerian government. It murdered its own citizens in cold blood. The world knows it, even though they continue to help us deny it. They know it. I saw people injured, people who have lost limbs. I saw families who have lost children. This government paid some of them, and yet they keep denying it. So when they bring up NSAS, let's be clear. NSAS was a protest. It did not come with an end in sight. The Nigerian people went to the polls in record numbers. I saw the fictitious number they are raising in Lagos, talking about Labour Party winning in Lagos, thinking that they can play some silly blackmail game. We beat the landlord of Bodilon, black and blue. The margin couldn't have been less than 70%. How can we have such a high turnout of voters where we are counting votes up until 1:43 a.m. and the total number of votes they are claiming is probably less than 2 million? I'm not even sure I bothered to look because everything about the figures are fictitious. So when they talk about NSAS and this, these are two different issues. NSAS was protesting police brutality. Some of us were not part of it. We only became later day joiners because of what happened afterwards. This one is different. We are saying, oh yeah, different, yeah, from Bala Blue. So the point is, we've made clear, we want a change of government. We want a change of the way we are ruled. We want to become citizens. We want to become citizens. And they are denying us the right of citizenship. We trooped out in our numbers. Rain fell on people. My wife didn't vote until 8:43. Some people stood for the votes to count at my ward. 1:43 a.m. That was when they finished counting. Some people stood there. People in my ward, Ward 3 Ajiro, they brought generator from their homes. On their heads, they brought generator. We bought drinks for officials. We took care of ourselves. We stood. And then somebody is telling me that all of that does not count. Eunice Atueji, one of our candidates that believe in her papa, she recorded it live. Now they are threatening her life. She has to go into hiding. They are threatening her directly because the state has failed and those to whom it has surrendered its rights as a government are threatening the life of a citizen who courageously recorded them in the act. There is an INEC official with his face busy tipexing away the pains and sorrows of Nigerians who stood on lines. That woman whose head they broke her head. She was all plastered and bloodied. She still voted. And you want to tell me that INEC says a vote does not count?
Okay.